If they do this one thing, I promise you, God did not send them. And the wild part is, it doesn't look toxic at first. It looks romantic. It looks exciting. It feels like finally, someone chose you. But listen to me. Not every person who chooses you was chosen by God. Stay with me, because if you miss this sign, you could spend years with someone who was only meant to be a lesson, not your lifetime. I'm going to tell you exactly what that sign is, but first you need to understand how the wrong people always show up. Every counterfeit the enemy sends into your life arrives the same way. They come softly. They come sweetly. They come disguised as comfort. They say all the right words. I've never met anyone like you. I feel so safe with you. I've been praying for someone just like you. They mirror your values. They say, I love God too. They repost Bible verses. They know the language of Christians, but not the lifestyle of a disciple. At first, everything feels like an answered prayer, but pay attention. Here's the sign most Christians miss. People who are not sent by God will always pull you away from who you are in Christ. Instead of pushing you toward Him, not instantly, not aggressively, quietly, they shift your focus. Suddenly, you have time for long late-night calls, but no time for prayer. You used to wake up and talk to God. Now you wake up and check if they texted. You used to run to God when you were hurting. Now you run to them first, and God gets whatever is left. One compromise at a time. Your standards lower, your boundaries blur. Your fire for God turns into a lukewarm "I'll pray later." And they'll tell you, it's not that deep. We're just having fun. Why are you so intense about God? Anyone who makes you feel like loving God deeply is too much, is already pulling you away from Him. Here's how you know it's not God. On the outside, you're smiling, but on the inside, your spirit is heavy. You laugh with them, but you cry alone later. You feel connected to them, but disconnected from yourself. They give you attention, but you lose your direction. They compliment your looks, but they don't cover your soul. That is not love. That is a distraction dressed as destiny. Watch this. When someone is from God, they bring clarity. When someone is not, they bring confusion. When someone is from God, you feel peace. When someone is not, you feel pressure. When someone is from God, you grow. When someone is not, you shrink. Confusion is not from God. Anxiety is not from God. Constant guessing is not from God. So if you're always wondering where you stand, if you feel like you're begging for the bare minimum, if you have to keep proving your worth just to stay chosen, that is not your future spouse. That is your spiritual distraction. And deep down you already know it. Let me tell you why this matters so much spiritually. The enemy rarely ruins your life with obviously wrong people. He uses almost right people. People who look right, feel right, sound right, but are wrong for your destiny. Why? Because the enemy knows he probably can't make you walk away from God in one day. So he aims to slow you down. He doesn't always try to destroy your calling. He tries to delay it. He sends people who drain your purpose, derail your discipline, and detour your calling. You start skipping church. You stop serving. You stop worshiping like you used to. You stop dreaming the way God told you to dream. Not because you don't love God anymore, but because you're exhausted trying to keep a relationship God never told you to hold. So what does it look like when someone is from God? When someone is from God, you don't feel like you have to shrink to be loved. You grow. You don't have to hide your convictions. They honor them. You don't have to dim your light. They protect it. They don't pull you away from God. They push you closer. You pray together. You dream together. You worship together. You're not perfect people, but you're pointed in the same direction. With the wrong person, you're always asking, do they really love me? With the right person, you're saying, wow, look what God is doing in us. Here's how you can tell. Practically, right now, ask yourself, since they came into my life, has my prayer life grown or died down? Do I feel closer to God or further? Do they respect my boundaries or try to negotiate them? Do I feel safe talking about my faith, or do I feel like I have to tone it down? Do I feel like I can be fully honest, or do I constantly edit myself so they won't leave? If the relationship is from God, you won't have to abandon your identity to keep the person. If you're losing yourself to keep them, you're not in a God-written story. You're in spiritual warfare with romantic lighting. And listen closely. Sometimes, the clearest sign that God did not send them is that God takes them out of your life. The text dries up, the calls slow down, the connection suddenly breaks, and you're tempted to chase them, to beg, to bargain. But God, because He loves you, will remove what you refuse to release. Not to punish you, but to protect you. He will not let you marry a distraction and call it destiny. So here's the truth. If they make you compromise your standards, if they distract you from your walk with God, if they take more than they give, if you feel spiritually empty after being with them, they are not the one God chose for you. God will never write a love story that requires you to betray your identity, disrespect your calling, or silence your faith just to keep the person. When the right person comes, you won't have to force it, beg for it, or live in fear of losing it. Love sent by God brings peace, not chaos. Consistency, not confusion. Growth, not guilt. And when God brings the right one, you'll look back at every wrong one and say, now I understand why they had to leave. Because God was never rejecting you. He was protecting the version of you that your future spouse is praying for right now.